The theory behind the Delphi technique is that if you take a group of people who are knowledgeable and who respect each other's knowledge and give them a numerical problem, they will work separately to come up with a group consensus if given access in a series of rounds to the group's current consensus. It's a little complicated, so I'll teach you this technique by showing you an example from my life. After first learning how this Delphi technique worked, I decided to try it out. I was teaching a management course at a consulting company and wanted to add it to the tools I was teaching that evening. Now, there was a junior consultant not working on anything billable that day who asked if I had anything for him to do. I said, yes, go to the store, buy a clear plastic jar about this big, fill it with candy or popcorn, count the number that fit in the jar and tell me the answer. I promptly forgot about him and continued with my other preparations. When he returned 6 hours later with this, yeah, I was surprised. I had meant popped popcorn, not kernels. I asked him if he'd really counted the number of kernels within, and he said, yes, I wrote the number in here. It's 11,602. Wow. I'd never expected a number in the tens of thousands. I thought we were going to get like 100, maybe 200 kernels or M&Ms or something. Anyway, decided to go ahead. So I placed the jar along with a scale, some little lightweight cups, some rulers and calipers on the table, and I asked my team to estimate the number of kernels in the jar and secretly tell me their answer, not sharing that answer with the group. I took these numbers, I ran them through a statistical calculator and provided the range, the average, and standard deviation to the group and asked them to try again. Well, the first time the range was very wide, from 1,000 to 100,000, with a very large standard deviation. When the managers who had guessed 1,000 and 100,000 saw the average, they rechecked their calculation and realized that they'd each made an error in order of magnitude, and they returned with smaller numbers. The second time, the range I showed was from 10,000 to 12,000 with a much smaller standard deviation. The team went through 2 more rounds of this, each time narrowing down their estimates to become closer to the group consensus. What happened was that those finding themselves on the periphery on the range second-guessed their answer and adjusted it to approach closer to the mean. After the 5th round resulted in numbers almost the same as the 4th, I declared that the experiment had reached a stable state, and I showed their answer and compared it with the real result. We were all quite impressed with how this technique resulted in a very good estimate, though we also recognized how time-consuming it was.